Welcome to another episode of The American Dream, the only show that combats negative media by highlighting what makes this country so great city by city. Today, you're going to see something really cool. We're going to be focusing on the living history of our country. We have compiled some segments throughout the week that show what makes history in all of our cities incredible when it comes to real estate, lifestyle, and culture. You're going to love today's episode. Let's start The American Dream right now.
We do it in the spirit of going against the grain of the negative media, giving inspiring information, and having people walk away from our show with something of value.
You're seeing a disruption in both the real estate and the mortgage space.
A lot of people are just not willing to put in the work.
What video does is that it demands an emotional response.
You know what I love about this show? It's totally unscripted.
All right, today's show is about living history, but never forget The American Dream is a national show that still integrates what's happening in your local marketplace. So let's bring you your first local market update right now.
Hey guys, so we are here today in the beautiful downtown courtyard of Darien, Connecticut, and we are going to be meeting with power player Julie Peters of Houlihan Lawrence. Julie?
Hey Jay, how are you?
Good, so good to see you today. How's everything going?
Everything's going great.
So where are we?
We are in downtown Darien at a place called Flour, Water, Salt, and it is a bakery.
All I can smell is the beautiful aroma coming out of this place, and I just can't wait to see what's inside.
Well, let's go take a look.
All right, let's go.
Hi Rob.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good, good. Looks like we're almost too late. Looks like they've cleaned you out.
It has been a busy morning.
Well, that means good business.
That's what they say.
So can you tell me a little bit how you got into the baking business?
So I worked in finance for about 15 years.
Yeah.
Got a little bit long in the tooth. I took a whirlwind trip to India and decided to give it all up for bread.
Tell me a little bit about your breads here specifically.
We do everything in-house, fresh daily. Everything leavened is sourdough. It's a 3-day process, so everything's fully fermented. It tastes good. It's easy to digest.
It smells wonderful.
Yeah.
It does.
We do our own puff pastry in-house, which is super rare. We're doing all our pastry, the viennoiserie, with a sourdough culture. It's very rare. There's probably 100 bakeries in the world that do that.
You are new to Darien. I
Yes.
know that you're not new to baking. How many years has it been now?
It's been about 8 years.
Okay, great.
Yeah. It's a wonderful community. We've had an awesome reception from the community. It's a really cool thing to be part of a community that, you know, people are invested in and supportive of.
That's special about Darien is all of our little locally owned businesses.
Yes.
It really makes us unique and special. Rob, thank you so much for showing us around your shop.
Thank you.
So, Jay, now that I've shown you one of my favorite businesses, I'd love to show you one of my favorite properties. I'm going to meet you there.
Let's go.
Jay, welcome to 494 Mansfield Avenue here in beautiful Darien, Connecticut. I'm excited to show you around this property. To me, this embodies everything that you think about quintessential Connecticut when coming here. Let's come on inside. Jay, as we come around this corner, we're going to start to enter the historical part of the home. One of the things that you're going to see is that the floors transition from the oak to the chestnut. So walking on through here, we're going to go into the original living room of the house. It has the original fireplace. This was the heart of the home. It was built in 1785. Truly, if an antique lover is out there, this speaks to them. But what's really great about this house is they've added on to it over time, and it has all the amenities for today. The kitchen is always one of the favorite rooms in the house for any homeowner or visitor. All the action ends up in the kitchen. Multiple owners have added on to it, and what's great about it is the owners have kept the character. So these beams have been reclaimed and incorporated into the house. They're not only beautiful, but they're structural too. But it has all the amenities of today. You've got a professional stove, nice deep sink, great island to work on.
So Julie, I noticed this window behind us, this pass-through. Yep. Most homes, they might put cabinets up here, right? But they did this pass-through, which just brings that other side of the home right into this room. It's just another element of light.
So this is the guest suite. You've got this wonderful sitting living space. You've got a full bathroom and of course a bedroom. Come on outside to the terrace, Jay. We've got this beautiful entertaining space, wonderful pergola, and from here you can see the entire property. I've only gotten to show you just a fraction of this home. It's 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, and a wonderful guest suite out there.
Well, there's a lot to be desired. It was an absolutely amazing home. Antique, new, all coming together. Absolutely beautiful property. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for joining me.
All right, little history quiz for you. Do you know who Mr. Showmanship is? Came out of Vegas, Liberace, musician, actor, pianist. We went out to his home in Vegas to check out this cool story with the Batchelor and Hanna team. Let's go check it out.
So today we're at the Liberace Mansion, which is a true piece of Las Vegas history. Right. We get to see this property in an exclusive look. We're going to meet with the owner who has completely restored the property.
Destiny. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It needed it screaming, please help me, you know. And I was fascinated by Liberace as a child, and that's the reason I play the piano today. I've been not only to bring it back to life, but I've actually been able to bring music back to the mansion as well.
That's amazing.
Which it really needed.
And actually, Las Vegas is very lucky to have you, because when we see properties like this that are really an iconic piece of history, and I see that they've been restored, and being someone who's lived in Las Vegas the majority of my whole life, I almost get a little bit emotional about it, because we don't have a lot of history that has been done in Las Vegas. Kind of, we do everything new and better, and
we tear everything down and
make it new. And start over. And so to see this piece and actually have this tour today, and to see the beauty that you've restored in this property, I'm very excited for. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Now, you see these two marble columns here, and the two marble columns just a little ahead. This is the end of one of the houses.
Okay.
And then
the beginning of the next.
There was the gap, and then there's the beginning of that one. But it was merged, and then another floor was put up as well. This became, once again, a very, very famous piece. He paid $350,000 for this in 1974, and it was in variety.
$350,000 in 1974.
So what's that, about $1 million today?
Yeah.
Now, when you took it over, how much of this was here, and how much of it wasn't here?
The ceiling was hanging down. There were 2 sinkholes, and I had to have the floors and the drill, because we under the sand underneath it.
Yeah.
So I had to make it to concrete, hundreds of tons of concrete, and there were pylons, steel pylons with propeller-style blades on them to lift and support everything. Wow. They said at the time, the engineers, they said, had I not done what I did, the house would have collapsed in 18 months.
Wow.
So it would already be gone by now.
Phenomenal.
Oh, well, this was a direct blood descendant of Michelangelo, and his name was Stefano Thorpe. This is the closest thing you're going to come to the Vatican this side.
Yeah, and every night when you go to bed, this is what you see.
It really is. And this was his bedroom.
Wow.
This was once his pool, where he played on the piano key pool. And however, when this went up for sale after he died in 1988 in the famous auction in 1988, the Liberace auction, they filled in the pool and got permission to have an event centre. This is a piece of history in itself. Liberace bought this staircase from a can-can bar in Paris.
Wow.
And the reason it hit the newspapers is because of the cost of the transportation. To get it across the ocean and the continent cost $75,000 because it had to be in dollars. It had to be transported in one piece. Now this is his favorite room, the Moroccan room.
The Moroccan room. Bill's
you.
already up here doing it.
Bill's up here.
Soaking up the Liberace history.
There's a very positive energy in this room.
There is. And just the natural light and just being, I feel like you can almost feel the spirits of everyone who has been here. You are truly just a man after my heart because I love that you've restored this history here. I know Daryl's really enjoyed it, and just everything down to just the furniture pieces. You've done an amazing job, and we thank you today for your time.
Thank you, your good self.
Thank you, Martyn.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you so
great day.
much. Nice to meet you.
You're most welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now we're going to finish up by showing another little piece of iconic history, Michael's Restaurant here at the South Point.
And Michael's has been in business for almost 40 years. They've hosted many celebrities, many Las Vegas mobsters.
And we're going to interview the guy here, Jose, who knows where all the bones are buried, pretty much.
He does. He is the key to the castle. He has the keys. He's going to have an interview with us and tell us what Las Vegas holds behind these doors. Come on,
check it out.
So, Jose, we're so excited today to be with you and be at beautiful Michael's Restaurant, where we know you have seen countless celebrities, you've seen countless very famous, iconic people, and we want to talk a little bit about that Las Vegas history.
Yes.
So what can you tell us?
We moved out here to the South Point in 2007, and the only original two pieces is the dome and the front door.
Wow.
And everything else is the same colors, same
Exact replicas, right?
This is how it was before. Yeah.
carpet.
What other celebrities have you hosted at this
We had a lot
restaurant?
of sports celebrities. Dan Marino, Boomer Esiason.
Now, you don't have to confirm or deny, but I might have heard a few little rumors that there could have been, over its life, maybe a couple mobsters that came in and had dinner here. So I know that it's a nice restaurant to entertain, we'll say.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't disclose that part because some of them are still alive.
Some of them are still alive.
I don't want no problem.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
I don't blame
any
you.
Problems. Any problems with any. That's
No names.
awesome. I love hearing all the sports stars that have been here and just having that piece of Las Vegas history. I love that it's iconic. I love that you have the original dome from almost 40 years ago. And I just appreciate your service. I appreciate you having us here. But you know what?
Yeah, thank you.
I think I'm getting hungry. Are you hungry?
Absolutely. Let's
I
eat.
think we should have a meal. All right, well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much.
Thank
Jose.
you,
We
Jose.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, let's eat.
All right.
All right, now here's a cool story. Talk about real estate, Al Capone in southern Florida. This is a home that Al Capone used to peddle alcohol during Prohibition. Really cool story coming at you from Orlando. Let's check it out.
Jules, I'm wearing my nice clothes, my beautiful jacket. What are we doing out here?
We are sitting in Cassadaga, Florida, otherwise known as the psychic capital of the world. Besides being a wonderful area to connect with the other side, it's also a historic site. And there's an extra special property that I'm gonna take you to. And if you're lucky, I may even treat you to lunch at one of my favorite restaurants in all of Central Florida. Welcome to the Pines. We're in this 1926 historic home that has certain extra special attributes besides being a beautiful property. And we're fortunate enough that my buddy Teresa, who happens to have this listing, is gonna give us some more details as we go through an extra special tour of this property. Hey Teresa, good to see you.
Hey there, thank you so much for showcasing our home. This home was built in 1926, as you referenced. It's a beautiful two-story home that has beautiful original heart pine wood floors and beautiful craftsman French doors surrounding this ballroom. It's got 5,040 square feet and it's got 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. It's got a pool house next door that's not attached to the home because we wanted to maintain the integrity of this beautiful home.
You know, the home also has lots of upgrades to make it modern and comfortable for anybody that wants it. So as the legend goes, Al Capone may have spent time doing some of his naughty little things with bootlegging. If he had stayed in this home, then it's possible that when they went up into the attic, that there's a really cool spot where you get a good sense of what's coming and going around the property. I just think it's just cool to be up there, and you can store anything you need. It's got complete flooring, and it's actually pretty cool, as in temperate. You may not realize that because of where we are in Florida and throughout more of the northern part of the state, many homes actually do have proper basements. And this is completely dry and way cooler than you would imagine. Probably about 10 degrees cooler. And it would make the perfect wine cellar. So if you or someone you know would love to own a piece of history right outside of Orlando and just a few minutes from Daytona Beach, give us a call and we'd be happy to bring you to this home. Right now they're asking $665,000 for just under an acre of history.
Hey, Jules.
You found the bar I told you about.
Of course, you know, every place I go, I've got to find the bar, and this is beautiful.
So what do you think of this little hamlet of
I
Cassadaga and Lake Helen?
absolutely love it. So what's great about this is you drive into the city, and it's comfortable. You're serene. And I haven't been here since high school or college. I was telling someone that earlier. But everybody's so friendly and open, and then the history is just overwhelmingly amazing to me.
Isn't that cool?
It really
so
is.
Speaking of history, you guys at Freedom Mortgage happen to have some of the unique products required to be able to get a loan on a historic property. Can you tell us a little bit about what our viewers need to know?
Yeah, it's not as scary as people make it out to be. The biggest obstacle, I think, is the comps, which are the comparables, which try to find a house that is the same age or designated as a historic home. It can be hard to find that around your neighborhood. So the comps, trying to find the value, really is the biggest challenge. Things like insurance used to be a big deal to try to get that, but companies have come around, and there's a lot of insurers that will insure more historic homes, like the beautiful home, the Pines that you were in.
And then, so when it comes to finding the loan product for a property like that, it's pretty much standard, like a traditional conventional loan is no problem.
Correct. It's really standard. So I want to encourage anybody who's watching, don't be afraid of it. You can get the loan just as you would qualify for any other traditional loan. We just have to do a few extra steps, but we know how to do that. So if you haven't seen that house, you definitely want to go visit it.
Oh, thanks so much. So if you think you might be interested in talking to Ted about getting a loan to buy the Pines, reach out to us. We're happy to help.
Please do. Thanks for having me.
All right, having fun with today's history show, but don't forget, The American Dream is a show centered around real estate and lifestyle in your own backyard. So let's go to our next local segment so you see what's happening in your city.
After a long day or week at work, it's often nice to unwind at your favorite spot with a cocktail or appetizer. Today we're coming to you from downtown Fairfield, Connecticut on a warm spring day from a quaint little spot that's very lively with a lot of action. We'll be meeting with power players Shoshana Snyder and Sarah Pritchard of Snyder and Pritchard Homes, who will take us to one of their little spots and show us how they unwind.
We're here today at our favorite downtown Fairfield hotspot, Malto. We're picking up some pizza and salad to head over to the beach, but before we do so, we're privileged enough to meet with the owner, Dan Camporeale, and talk about him and his restaurant and why everyone loves it so much. Dan, thanks so much for meeting with us.
Thank you.
This is our go-to from our team lunches to after-work drinks and family dinners. All of our birthday dinners are here. So it's definitely our favorite restaurant in Fairfield.
Appreciate it.
We'd love to know why you chose Fairfield as the location to open Malto.
We actually had a partner of mine's daughter lives in the area, and she stumbled upon it and was like, hey, you guys should check this out. Took a ride up and saw what was going on, I guess downtown, which is just a couple blocks away. And there was some liveliness. So we figured, we'll only be a block away. Let's see if we can attract people to the other side of town.
And I think you've actually expanded the downtown area out a little farther because this restaurant is always busy, no matter what the hour is.
It seems like it, and it's gone the other way as well. So kind of like downtown, like you said, expanded in both directions, north and south, which is nice.
So we have to ask you, so what's your favorite?
I'd say pizza. I just have a love for pizza since I was a kid. I worked in pizzerias, so I've always gravitated to the pizza. And we just have a good time with it, even our pizza specials and whatever pizzas are on our menu too. You have your go-to margarita pizza, but then there's other ones that are just, you wouldn't find anywhere else, which is kind of cool.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're gonna head down to Sasko Hill Beach now. We're gonna grab some pizzas here and then go join our families down there for the rest of the night.
Thanks so much for joining us. We just got to Sasko Hill Beach, one of the most easy on, easy off beaches that we have in Fairfield. It's just known for coming here after school or work, grabbing some pizzas and dinner and letting the kids explore and enjoying our atmosphere.
So it's nestled at the end of one of the most prominent streets in Fairfield, Sasko Hill Road. So as you have seen, a number of the different beautiful estates built by Cameron Clark or Roger Ferris, we passed over those before we got here.
Just a very historic section, a very well-known section, and a very well-desired section.
So we're gonna enjoy the rest of the night here with our families, playing a little wiffle ball, digging in the sand, and enjoying some dinner here as well.
Thanks so much for joining us here as we toured around Fairfield and showed you some of our favorite spots.
See you soon.
All right, more of the history show. Now this one's really cool. We're coming to you from Seattle, where we go to the tallest hill and show off this amazing home that was also lived in by the guy who built the tallest building. Let's go check this out in Seattle.
What an incredible setting. Now let me take you back in time.
Okay.
Imagine it's 1902 and you're throwing a party. All of your friends would come up along this street and they'd come up these marble staircases to join your party. How cool would that be?
That's amazing.
Right? Can you just picture them all with their ascots and their long coats?
Some imagination, right?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the grand entry.
Wow.
Look at this house. They have 2 living rooms. This is one of them. And if you come over, they probably invite you here because this is for family and close friends.
Ah, okay.
And the other one, if they don't know you that much yet, or they are not sure whether they want to talk to you yet, here is a place for the guest.
So the homeowner could choose whether or not to meet the person here. So if I showed up and they put me in this room, I should be a little disappointed?
Yes, yes, so be
darn
nice.
How many years did they spend rehabbing this house?
More than 20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
20 years. You're not going to believe it. You know, one of the things I was reading that your client had told us is he actually told the carpenter, I don't like sagging bookshelves because you all know when you put a lot of books on a shelf, it tends to bow.
Yeah.
He told him, I want the shelves strong enough to support a man. The carpenter climbed onto the bookshelves to show him that it could bear the weight.
Yes. Do you want to try that?
All right. No, I don't want to try that.
Okay.
I'll take his word for it. I'm surrounded by gold. Incredible. In fact, The medallions around the chandeliers were hand-painted by an artist in Tennessee who specializes in Southern Mansion chandelier medallions. Let's show them where the rest of the meal comes from. So this room actually used to have a hallway that connected to the kitchen. And so what the chef would do is prepare the meal by course, and then the servants would come and they would wait in this room. There's a pocket door right here. And so when they heard the bell ring, they would bring the next course out.
One of two master suites, but this is a huge one. It's not just huge, it's also when you live here, you have that royal family feeling, because when you stay in the bed, you can see Space Needle, and also as lady, you can check out who is coming.
That's right, that's right. The lady of the house would come to this railing right here and be able to look down onto the foyer and see who was coming into the home. You know, they'd funnel one of them off into the lower class living room or funnel them over to the higher class, but she could decide whether or not she wanted to greet them, right?
That's right. So if you are at Laine, that side.
Yeah.
Janice side, this side.
Why do I keep getting downgraded? What master suite is complete without its own kitchen? W.J. Whitney, who's the gentleman that first built this home, is also the guy who built the Columbia Tower, the tallest building in the Seattle skyline.
Wow, that's amazing, huh?
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. Wow. I know you would have a wall here.
She has the best view in the entire house.
I know,
That's
I know.
incredible. I'm looking at Mount Rainier, Space Needle, Seattle Center, Elliott Bay, the entire downtown skyline. I can see the Cascade Mountains. This is incredible. I would never leave.
Then you can buy this home. You can have the view forever.
All right, you take cash?
Sure.
What we're sitting on right now is an outcropping of the house. This home was built on a promontory, actually a big rock. And because of that, it was allowed to be built about 12 feet forward of the houses on either side. So those houses have great views. Our house has 210 degrees of great views that go from the Olympics through Elliott Bay, downtown, all the way over to the Cascades, and all unobstructed. It is incredible. What an incredible house, Janice. Thank you so much for including me and showing it to me. I think our viewers are going to love it and can't wait for people to see it firsthand.
You can schedule a private tour with me and go to seattletopproperties.com and I'll show you around.
Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time on American Dream TV, Seattle.
Hey, that's all for today's show. Even though the U.S. has one of the shortest histories, it's one of the coolest. And I hope you enjoyed today's real estate and lifestyle pieces we showed you about the history of our country. Now, don't forget also, we'd love for you to breathe oxygen into this positive message of the American Dream. Please follow us on social media, and don't forget to tune in next week for another episode of the American Dream.